David Lade of the infamous David Lade name. And we're here to ask a lot of more in-depth questions than we normally ask because so many people seem to be curious about a lot of minutiae and details about your life. So, David, thanks for coming.
My pleasure, James.
So the first question I wanted to ask you was, how old were you when you first started training?
I was, give or take, in the end of 12-ish years old to 13, that general time frame, kind of. 13-ish. 13.
13.
13.
It's a magic number, I understand. Okay, so using the standard high school archetypes of what kind of person you were, how would you describe yourself before you started training? Like nerd, jock, the cool kid, the less than cool kid?
Well, from the basic archetypal template you just laid out, I definitely feel like I lean more towards the nerd. I played like sports. I just played hockey. I was pretty athletic. I was always, I guess, slightly stronger and more athletic than the baseline everyone around else my age. But I was just really into like neat and geeky, nerdy stuff like card tricks, magic trips, just learning how to video edit, just computer software, like stuff like that.
You mean that wasn't cool back then?
No, it wasn't cool.
All right, what actually motivated you to start training? Did some girl break your heart, leave you for a more muscular guy? Or was it just part of your sports, or what?
Well, basically, I mean, my entire life, my most massive insecurity was like simply how skinny I was, because before people hit puberty, they basically, I mean, all guys are relatively skinny, but for me, it was on another level because, like, one, I was like negative 8% body fat, and my limbs and my extremities were so long, waist narrow, hips like so small. So I literally was like Gollum, Lord of the Rings. I just like a proper, just like a thick, like skinny stick, right? And I was so self conscious about it. Any room I'd ever walk into, all I'm thinking about is how other people are perceiving my skinniness and blah, 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 this. It felt very demasculinizing. I remember when I played hockey in like the locker rooms and stuff, there was like some bullying there, like generic stuff like that. So I was so insecure. And the specific breaking point was I was actually at the skate rink. I was doing public skating, and then towards the end, one of my friends just made another generic comment referring to how emaciatingly skinny I was. And for some reason, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Went home, went on YouTube, typed in chest workout, watched some Mike Chang six-pack shortcuts, did a bunch of push-ups at home, started working out at home with 20-pound dumbbells, a pull-up machine, some push-ups. And I did that for about 3 or 4 months, and then I basically got a gym membership.
Okay. Okay, this is going to sound a little odd, but a lot of people actually are motivated by you, believe it or not. Like, they actually will start lifting because of you, and they'll sit there and cite you as being the reason why they got involved. Back then, who motivated you? What got you into that kind of stuff? Who did you look up to?
Well, initially,
anybody?
Well, no, there were definitely a lot of people. Initially, when I went on YouTube typing, chest workout, I didn't really know anyone. Like I said, that guy Mike Chang, six-pack shortcuts, so I was watching some of his stuff. But I definitely see the key motivators, a few months in and stuff, actually saturated my brain with like online fitness interwebs or whatever. Greg Plitt was a massive one. Z's, right? A lot of people know Z's. I was like religiously into him. Like Matt Ogus, Chris Lovato, like Jeff Side, I really like his physique. People like Mark Fit. But definitely, I guess like the key, psychological motivators would kind of boil down to like a Greg Plitt and Aziz. I would say those were like huge for me, massive. Mainly Greg Plitt. I cried when Greg Plitt died. It's a tragic event.
I'm not laughing. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay. So I know that you used to do a lot of things that required a lot of mental attention with like the magic and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start deciding that your body was more important than your brain?
Well,
and do you still?
I'd say. I definitely applied like the over analytical, just breaking things down, like psychologically organizing, understanding stuff that I did with magic, computers, blah blah. I definitely applied that into lifting after I transitioned more out of the generic bro style lifting and researching into the science and stuff, how the body works, process synthesis, blah blah blah, yada yada, all that stuff. So I got really into that, but. So what the question is how did my brain deteriorate and my physique build?
No, almost like did you start thinking that you were getting more some type of either social or mental or personal validation from working out that started to steer you in that direction rather than just still using
Mm-hmm.
your brain power? Yeah, just wanting to sit there and do schoolwork and stuff like that.
I was never that, into schoolwork. Like middle school, I got decent grades,
right.
like A's and B's. I was a merit student because I don't really have any passion or anything else I was religiously doing. So I was like, why not? I want to, be like decent at schoolwork. I want to be a good, proper, oriented human being. So when I got into high school and I was religiously like into the whole lifting thing, grades definitely started linearly declining from freshman to like senior year. But yeah, so that was the deterioration of my prefrontal cortex and the increase in my upper chest, traps, and back.
So did you find that doing massive amounts of pre-workout in the evening and then working out for 3 hours made it a little bit harder to be more awake during the morning?
I mean, it definitely threw like a little wrench into it. I can't deny that. Like, yeah, I mean, it was inoptimal. I would sleep like a few hours a night, wake up, I was asleep in school pretty much all my classes, unfortunately.
Right.
Trying to pound down food, came home, pre-workout, gym, stay up way too late because the stims repeat. It's a bad situation. I mean, it wasn't great.
Okay. How long did it take you in your lifting career to start figuring out the food? And did you find that to be really, really important? Did that start to make a difference?
That's interesting. My whole perception and everything on food was definitely, it's like a wick-wacky graph. So initially when I started off, when I was all bro, I was like, okay, intuitively, I'm going to eat ridiculously healthy foods, no sugar, no processed stuff, none of that. And I was religiously eating like as clean as I could imagine, like only water, whole food, stuff like that. And that's a great way to eat, but I unfortunately wasn't putting on that much size because, one, my appetite wasn't that high and a lot of those foods are not that calorie dense. Then when I started taking more of a scientific approach route, I was like, okay, body weight increase calories, body composition, dependent on macronutrient percentages, whatever. So then I was like, okay, I want get big, strong. I eat lots of calories, protein, this, that. So I just eat it, just complete garbage, like pounding down Gatorades, bagels, and Biscoff, peanut butter, just the most low-resolution, shitty, no micronutrient density foods just to get my calories in. And then definitely, because I was, young, fast, and fast, and I got away with it, I looked good, I put on some size and stuff. But recently, I'm, starting to realize I'm kind of returning to my original intuitive roots. Okay, eating healthy foods, there's something to it, right?
Right.
It's definitely not overrated. So now I'm still trying to get a decent amount of calories, but obviously just eating healthy and just more prioritizing my health in general rather than eating in a way that could increase my size and strength and body weight as rapidly as possible with no consideration for any other health variables.
So do you still find that it's hard to get your calories sometimes? If you don't think about it?
But it's weird. I mean, back then, my appetite's definitely a lot better now. I feel like it was really bad in high school because I was just eating such garbage. So I was like a defense mechanism. My body was like, stop feeding me all this shit because I was poisoning my insides.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after I'm eating a lot cleaner, it's honestly, I just have a better appetite. But it's still a struggle. I have to eat a decent amount to put on weight. But I swindle it. I figure it out.
What's funny, when everybody starts lifting, they just start kind of lifting, and they kind of, whatever they start doing, they just kind of do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When do you start pushing the weight? When do you start making sure that you start doing progressive overload?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that kind of comes down to when I started doing this. But before I took the more scientific route, I had the mindset of, I would get egotistical, massive gratification going to the gym and lifting the lightest weight possible with just immaculate, flawless form, 4-second, eccentric, explosive contraction, wrist bend on this, and just, that's what I thought I was supposed to do, but that wasn't, long story short, that's not the most ideal way to put on size. When I did more of the scientific approach, then I started doing full body every other day. I started doing squat, benching, and deadlifting, learning proper technique, and that's when I started really, really pushing weight, getting stronger at those movements, and increasing my volume, and that's what really just thickened me out, put on a lot of size.
Okay. Did you find, another thing people start asking a lot of times with these guys especially is, since nowadays everybody's obsessed with the big three, bench, deadlift, squat, must do them or I will die, that kind of thing. When you started doing them, what did your weight start looking like say end of year 1, 2, 3, etc.?
Well, my body weight?
No, the weights you're pushing.
Oh. Well, I mean, when I got into the whole squatting, benching, and deadlift thing, right off the bat, a few months in, I'm just kind of, to some degree or another, honing into my technique. My bench was maybe 200, 195. Deadlift was, I don't know, maybe 315, maybe a little lower than that. And squat was not even 315, probably a little lower. This is difficult to recollect, but then over so sophomore year, I'd say ended off with a 225, 245 bench, maybe a 365 deadlift, and a 315 squat. Junior year in high school, I was probably around 275, 285 bench, maybe 350. I don't know. Shit just went up and up and up and up. Mainly the deadlift.
But in your senior year, what were you benching and everything?
Towards the end of senior year, I was like pushing like 3 plates and some change on bench. Like squat like 4 or 5 and some change, and deadlift like 545, like 545 600, something like that.
When you hit a new PR, did you find yourself running around the gym and screaming and yelling?
I wouldn't say so. No, I was definitely more stoic about my post PR.
Just wondering. Okay, all right. As you started lifting, as you became stronger, as you became bigger, as you started getting over your insecurities as far as being a small little person, did you find that your social confidence improved? That people started paying more attention to you?